All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kayleigh O'Keefe with Snapdocs. I'm joined by Briana. We're really excited to be here. Many of you probably have never heard of Snapdocs before, I'm guessing. But we're the digital closing platform you're already plugged into through your settlement partners. So last year, 495,000 closings happened on Snapdocs. And if you want to stop by our booth afterward, we can give you a snapshot of your closings that have happened on Snapdocs in the past year, consumer feedback that you've received. We're really excited to share our platform with you, but before we do, I want to give you a sense of who we are and how we were founded since we're new here. I want to take us back to our founder and CEO, Aaron King. In high school, he worked for a mortgage company, just doing paperwork after school. And when he turned 18, he got his notary license. He started signing loan documents and quickly built a reputation in the industry for his attention to detail and customer service. He was obsessed with creating the perfect closing process. He was really successful, so much so that he built a nationwide signing service and ran that for 8 years. Eventually, he sold the business, traveled the world, and made it back to San Francisco, where he started to learn how to code. Snapdocs started as a dining room table signing project, and eventually he realized he could start selling to signing services, people like him who needed a more efficient way to find a notary. He also was pretty smart in that he built free tools for notaries to use, so they started joining the platform. And suddenly, a network started being built around creating the perfect closing. As the company grew, centralized title companies started coming to Snapdocs and saying, we need a more efficient way to coordinate and communicate around this process. We need to offer lenders a more compliant and consistent process. And so they joined the network. Title branch officers also needed a way for consumers to have transparency, knowing who was showing up to the signing, could they preview documents. And suddenly, this network and platform that he was building got a lot bigger, including lenders, borrowers, everyone involved in the signing process. Today, we're processing over 50,000 loan closings every month through 200 settlement partners with 67,000 notaries across the nation. And our philosophy has been build pragmatic products that are solving real-world problems, that progression from signing service to how we're supporting everyone in the transaction today. For us, the discussion isn't really about a digital close, it's a means to an end. For us, we really want to work with our clients on how do we create a perfect closing. This means, is it faster, more transparent, error-free? This is the guiding light, the North Star, and the way that we think about making decisions and partnering with our customers. This sounds idyllic and really easy, but turns out there's quite a few challenges when you start to dig into it. First and foremost, you're going to see fragmented technology adoption. And what I mean by this is everything is changing county by county, state by state. And so how do you solve for that and invest in new technology when there's no one perfect answer just yet? It's also challenging because you're working with a lot of settlement partners, each with their own process. And so how do you work together in creating this experience? And finally, technology likes to be talked of as very simple, but everyone knows it requires some sort of change management. And to date, most things out there have been pretty hard to get set up. So our philosophy to create this perfect closing is simple. We first need to create something that can handle all signings, no matter how they need to happen, connects and adds value to every person in the transaction, and finally is able to plug into existing processes. And so, as I pass it over to Briana to walk through the demo, keep these ideas in mind of the perfect closing is the outcome, the challenges that we're solving for, address these three things, and really are baked into our philosophy.
Thank you, Kayleigh. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a walkthrough of the Snapdocs platform that really shows how we're bringing lenders, settlement agents, consumers, and technology together to create that perfect closing. So it all starts with initiating the closing, and this could be done by title or by a lender. In this example that I'm going to walk through, I'm going to show from a lender-initiated closing perspective. So imagine you're a loan officer, you log into Snapdocs, and you just put in a few pieces of information. One part being the type of closing. And I want to dive into that because I know a lot of us in this room would love to snap our fingers and have a full e-close for all of our loans and all of our customers tomorrow. But that's just not going to happen due to regulations and slow adoption. So at Snapdocs, what we're really focused on is solving the problems of today with an eye towards that future. And so that means making every type of closing the perfect closing, from a traditional wet signing all the way to that remote e-signing, and everything in between. So what we'll dive into right now is a hybrid signing, where a portion of the documents are e-signed that are non-critical, and another portion are wet signed, traditionally with a notary in person. And once that closing's initiated, we're bringing in all the other parties to the closing to collaborate. And so this is an example of an email that would go out to a settlement agent. It says, you've been invited to a closing, and one thing that we're really trying to do here is make sure that there's no complicated training or setup required. You just click this button, log in, and enter the closing experience. And this is where the next step comes in, which is adding your documents. And it sounds simple, but if any of you have tried to do an e-close or an e-signing, it's actually way more of a headache than you would imagine to get all those documents prepped for an actual e-signing. You either need to change your doc prep process, or you need to go manually annotate all the pages in this huge package. So at Snapdocs, we want to make sure that you don't have to change your processes. We'll plug into them. So you just come in and you upload your traditional closing package, which is one giant PDF. And the Snapdocs platform is going to do all the hard work of prepping the documents for a successful hybrid closing. What does that mean? How do we do that? I'm going to bring you behind the scenes and show you some internal technology we've built to automatically process these documents for e-signing. And so we've built 2 AI bots that do this. The first one is Douglas, who helps with doc classification. Douglas, yeah, that's why we named it that. And what Douglas does is it goes through every single page of the package and uses computer vision to determine what type of document it is. And then we have rules that come from lenders and title about which documents can be e-signed, so we'll put those in the e-sign package, and which can be wet signed, we'll put those in a wet sign package. So the output of Douglas is a package that needs to be e-signed. So then it goes to our second AI bot, Anne, who automatically annotates documents, and so puts all those signature tags, date tags, check boxes to prep your documents, all without any manual work or system changes for title or lender. And this gets sent to the consumer, and this works for any type of document from any doc generation system. So that from a lending perspective or the settlement agent perspective, you're just going to sit back, relax, and watch the consumer's experience through this hybrid closing.
Just to wrap up, thank you, Briana. As I share, we're really excited to be here today. We'd love for you to come by our booth. We have Swell water bottles that we would absolutely love to give you and one to take home to a family member. Pick up your lender snapshot, have us take you through a demo. And to try something new, in the spirit of Christine this morning, who said, ask the question, I'll ask if you learned something new, you liked learning about Douglas and Annie and want to learn more, please do and vote for us for Best in Show.
And we'll give you a water bottle. That's what we'll give you in return.
All right, thanks, everyone. Thanks.
No kidding.